Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that in the description below. Also, at the top of the chat, you can join the discussion, share ideas, chat with other traders, chat with myself there. So if you are interested, make sure you head over and check out the Discord. Links in the description, free to join. You can also find it at the top of the chat so you can't miss it. But guys, hope everyone is doing well this week. I have been away, so glad to be back on the stream. So hope everyone's doing good. Plenty of opportunities to talk through today. Some interesting ideas I'm looking at. Still liking the yen pairs, still liking USD pairs. Some of the crosses are looking interesting as well, so we'll go through all of that today. Of course, any requests, any particular ideas, or even certain time frames you're looking at, let me know, drop it in the chat. And of course, we will have a discussion, so let me know. And of course, any pairs, let me know. We'll take a look at them together. Good morning, Rachel. Glad you're back. Glad to be back. Glad you're on the stream as well, Rachel. Do appreciate it. But yeah, guys, have been away, but we are back with the stream. So excited to get back to it. Anyway, we'll start with the dollar as always. We'll go through USD side of things first. Dollar, USD majors, gold and silver. Like I said, any requests, let me know in the chat. But excuse me. So first things first, the dollar. So we just haven't seen much retracement with USD, to be honest. I'm still kind of long-term bearish bias. I still do think there's a lot more downside to be had with this market. So the bias for myself, the dollar is still expecting weakness. However, again, not much retracement, so it's not really giving me a great opportunity to short it. Not to say it's not a good opportunity to short it, it's just from a swing bias. If you're looking to hold for like a few days, potentially a few weeks, not the best position. If you're a bit more intraday, I do think there would have been some nice opportunities. We did see price kind of smash back into resistance here. Nice reaction, did give a nice short there, but again, that's a trade for potentially a day or two, which is, again, if you're a bit more intraday or intra-week, that could be the time horizon you're looking for. But if you're looking trying to hold a trade for a while, we've got the lows right there. Not the best place, especially when the market has already been falling for quite a while. It's quite stretched. We want price to kind of take a bit of a breather, find some highs again, and then we get involved. So that's still what I'm looking for on the dollar. In terms of the current price action, things are still looking very fatigued. I mean, to be honest, I can kind of just box this off as consolidation. This here was just a bit of a fake out to the downside. We had that big flush there with that momentum. Didn't really amount to anything. Price is now back within this range. So I'm pretty much just looking at this as a range here for USD, which is pretty significant, taking into consideration where we're trading, which is right below here. So perhaps we are getting ready for that pullback. And I'm still looking for pound to retrace a bit more. Still looking for euro. We'll get to them in a moment. But I still do think dollar has room to the upside. So I'm not quite keen on shorting it just yet. Like I said, that's still my longer-term bias. But yeah, we just haven't seen much retracement. Like I said on the daily chart, I'm still very interested in shorts from this area, shorts from this range. Above us here, 103.5, 104. I'm still looking for price to get to those areas before I do start looking to short it again. But yeah, that's still my expectation with the dollar. More retracement to sell later on, so keep an eye on those areas. Perhaps there might be some breakouts to buy or even buying at the lows there, but I'm not the biggest fan of that opportunity right now. Euro USD, pretty much the exact same thing. Again, here's your consolidation. There's your kind of fake out to the upside with that momentum, came straight back down. Now the market's just sideways. I've been talking about this head and shoulder pattern, left, head, and right shoulder. Haven't really kind of broken through that neckline there to really get the pattern going. But because of the lack of momentum we're seeing to the upside, I do think we're likely to break down. Same situation as the dollar as well. Got a couple areas which I do like the look of to buy from. The retest of that high there, the retest of this range, but more so the high there as well. So 1.11, 1.095. Those are levels which I'm keen to see if I can find some entries to take euro back up again. If it expands to the weekly chart, massive move to the upside recently. taking out some major swing highs to our left. The market's quite stretched. I do need to see that pullback for me to start looking to buy the pair again. So yeah, I'm still anticipating a push down. You can see price creating resistance here, really struggling at the highs with these wicks. So it does look like we are putting in another lower high, one over there, second over there, perhaps a third one. This could potentially give us a nice push to the downside there. Again, I'm not so interested with the shorts, to be honest. With euro, I'm looking at this as more of a counter trend idea. Pro trend would be looking to buy and continue that euro strength against the dollar. So that's really the move I'm interested in. But again, on the lower time frame, there could be some nice shorts for the week there if we maintain that resistance. But yeah, not really interested with the shorts, but if we can see them, that would be great. And then look and take euro back to highs and possibly beyond that as well. Jumping over to pound USD. So pound, same situation. Again, probably a bit of a head and shoulder pattern forming here as well. With your left over there, head and right shoulder, maybe not your most orthodox pattern there, but it kind of resembles that the market was creating higher highs, now potentially creating lower highs. So that's the key difference here. And if we can break through some structure, well, that would be the icing on the cake. And at that point, are we expecting pound to give us that correction and then potentially some longs later on? And that's what I'm looking for. If I expand to the daily chart, get rid of these squiggly lines, if we can pull back to 1.31, 1.3, I'll be more than happy to see if I can find some longs there for pound, take it back to highs and beyond that as well. You can see if we look to the left, we've come back into a really considerable level of resistance. Last time we were here, massive move to the downside. Price is struggling to break through that high again. So again, doesn't really make sense to be buying pound USD right now, especially when we've already had a big move into that level. Doesn't make sense to buy pound USD from a swing perspective. Again, that's primarily where I'm coming from. Intraday, of course, that's a different kettle of fish because you'll be in and out within the day most likely, so you can get away with those buys. But if you're looking to hold for a few days, not the best place to be buying and holding for a few days. Sells make a lot more sense. So yeah, if we are forming that right shoulder there, so left head, right shoulder, a break of that neckline would be a really nice situation, because pullbacks afterwards probably could be looking at some nice counter trend trades to the downside there for pound. And then hopefully we can start to speak about some buys when we get back into these areas to take it back up again. Because essentially what I'm looking at, this is our bullish leg from the low to the high. And now I'm just looking for a healthy retracement back into these areas to buy it back up again. So that's very much my expectation there with pound USD. With the dollar CAD slowly correcting to the downside in this descending manner. Again, typically when price is moving like this, we are getting ready for a push to the upside. And I've been saying that since last week. But again, the difficult thing is, we could see this correction last till the end of the week. And then potentially early next week, we could see the push up. We could see it today. We could see it potentially in another 2 weeks' time. So no one really knows when the corrective nature is going to end and we are going to get that pullback. But most of the time, when price has already had a big move and now it starts to move like this, it's sooner or later going to do something like that pretty soon. So that's what I'm expecting there for dollar CAD. Not so interested with the sells. Actually, I am interested with the sells, but I want to have that pullback first. Similar to euro, similar to pound. I've got a couple areas which I've got my eyes on, and I'm still long-term bearish on the USD. So pairs like dollar CAD, I'm definitely still looking to short. We had the high over there, swing to the downside, another lower high, another swing to the downside. So the plan is to look for the next lower high, either at these areas, for again another swing to the downside. So just looking to follow structure here, nothing too crazy. But I can clearly see with these wicks here, price is looking very tired. Perhaps now going to get ready for the move, but again, it's always difficult to say when it will happen. We could have another spike to the downside before it happens as well, so it's difficult to predict those things. But judging how price is moving, it's not going to move like this forever. So I do think we're getting ready for a swing higher. And then, of course, when we get back to these areas, 1.405, 1.415, I'll be more than happy to start to look to short the pair and take it back down. Aussie dollar, annoyingly, this one's kind of just slowly pushed to the upside. I'm still very much looking for the pullback to buy. We've had a really big move. Price then consolidated. Looks like we've had another breakout to the upside. So price hasn't really seen much retracement at all, to be honest, since this push up here. The most retracement we've seen is just the consolidation, really. So the market for me is still quite stretched, still quite overbought. And if I can see a meaningful move to the downside and take out some of these kind of structural lows here, that would be nice. Then I'll be looking to try and pick up that for a long, take it back up again, because then I'm looking at kind of like a low, a lower low, and then the higher low for us to continue. So this is really what I'm after there for Aussie dollar. Again, that could take a week or two to form, so being patient for that, but my bias is pretty much set in stone for Aussie dollar. Ever since we got that massive V-shaped pattern, I've been looking for a lot more upside, and I still am, but the market right now is quite corrective. Similar to dollar CAD, what we just looked at, correctively pushing down. USD CAD's pushing down correctively. Aussie dollars pushing up correctively. So again, typically we're going to expect a bit of a drop at some point, and that's when I expect the bigger buys to come back in. So very much still bullish on Aussie dollar, just waiting for some type of correction, and then hopefully some buys later on. And same situation with the USD as well. I would probably prefer Aussie dollar, to be honest, but this one again looks like it's failing at highs right now, struggling to break resistance. I still do like this level below us. Prior resistance there broke through pretty well. Again, I was hoping we could correctively push into that zone with this first pullback, but unfortunately didn't happen. We pushed up again, but not to worry, we might struggle, put a double top in here and still get that bigger pullback for that buy. So it's still definitely on the cards. Again, shorts look good at the moment for USD. If you're not looking and waiting for a big buy, because again, that could take a week or two. If you're a bit more intraday or intra-week, I would actually be more fixated on the shorts here. But the only reason why I'm not really entertaining short ideas for USD, Aussie dollar, euro, pound is because I'm expecting them to be just pullbacks for the bigger move to keep going up. So I'd rather just wait for those pullbacks to be over and then find my entries for the longs. But again, nothing wrong looking to short the market either. But yeah, failing at the highs, I do anticipate more downside for USD. Gold, bit interesting for this one the past couple of days. Very, very bullish. As we can see, there are two distinct bullish candles on the way up. We have come back into some daily resistance now, so perhaps we move a little bit more correctively, a bit more, a bit slower. But yeah, gold is still very, very bullish. I wouldn't be looking to short this one. We've taken out structure here to the left. So the only thing I could be looking for gold really is pullbacks for more upside, to be honest. There's brief pauses in the market over here. We had those two bearish candles there on the 4-hour chart. So we kind of slowed down, the momentum picked up again. And just before we broke structure. So this, on the lower time frame, would be a bit more of a meaningful area to buy from. You can see a bit more detail there. Massive move to the upside. Momentum came from this zone. So 33.30 looks like a nice area to start looking for some longs again and potentially looking to take gold back to the upside. But for me, gold is still very much a bullish market. I know we had a bit of a sell last week, but it hasn't really taken out any major structure. I know the weekly candle didn't close great as well. So it's a sign that gold is struggling at highs here, and perhaps this starts to form a larger consolidation. But in terms of the immediate price action right now, really nice rally, breaking structure. This to me looks like a nice zone for a buy. And then over to silver. Silver, I'm not too sure what's going on with silver, to be honest. I'm still quite bullish on this one, looking to buy it, but just conditions are awful, really. Look how choppy that is. No kind of clear-cut trend for me to kind of maneuver in. I was talking about the breaking test of this zone. I said that potentially did interest me, but the only reason why I stayed away is because the conditions are just awful, just very, very choppy. So yeah, I've stayed away. But again, I still am bullish on silver. I do think long-term, 35 up there is going to be hits, and we're going to push through. What would interest me for silver is if we have a deeper correction. So price was to come back to 31, something like that would interest me for a buy. But yeah, not a big fan. I mean, perhaps there might be a retest here to consider. Nice break to the upside. We could see a retest and a long. So that could be a nice intraday trade to look at least for a push back to the high here, or perhaps the high there on the left. So that could be a nice trade intraday, but just because the conditions are just not great, not like we've got a smooth trend and a smooth direction to silver. It's just very flat, which is a key part of my trading. If the market is like this in this type of climate, I do want to stay away. Well, if I am going to get involved, make sure I'm kind of at the extreme, so closer to the edges, where I can get safer stop losses and maximize my risk reward as well. Silver's not quite doing that for me just yet, but still long-term bullish on that one. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Anyway, where was I? Ronnie, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. James, hope you're doing good. Do you think the dollar will reverse completely? I'm not sure what that pattern is. Reverse completely. What do you mean as in we're just going to be pushing to the upside from here to the end of the year pretty much? No, not really. I think the dollar is due a bit of a pullback, yes, but I actually expect more weakness actually in the future for the dollar. I do think we're actually going to continue lower. Yeah, so I'm expecting a lot more downside. I do think we are due that, not necessarily reversal, but a bigger retracement in the higher time frames, daily, weekly retracement. I do think we are due that. So yes, I do expect some type of reversal in the lower time frames, but I think that will most likely be a pullback for the market to kind of take a bit of a breather and then continue lower later on. Tried trading gold yesterday, but completely got stopped at break even last night. That's unfortunate. It happens. Rachel, suggestions on learning to read the charts. I've been watching YouTube primarily, ICT and cycle trade. Other suggestions for. I would say keep things simple. You know, as a new person to trading, the goal isn't to learn everything all at once and do everything. That's a big no-no. Even experienced traders will not try and do that too much. As a new person to the market, you want to find a style, a way of analyzing charts and trading charts, and then get good at that before you start to look elsewhere. So if you're going to focus with ICT concepts and strategies and patterns, then stick with that and get good at that. Trading is not about more. It's actually about kind of less and getting good at what you're trying to focus on, what patterns you're trying to learn, what type of ideas you're trying to trade with the market. So I would highly suggest that whatever you're learning, get good at that. That's really what you should be doing, Rachel. So yeah, whatever kind of strategy, patterns, analysis or method you're learning, get good at that. Not necessarily look to increase that and learn more, because that does not help you, just confuse you later on. Trust me, knowing more is not good. It will actually start to contradict things. So just get good at what you know. That's the best advice I can give you. Good morning, Alex. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. What's up, Tashi? Good morning. Hope you're well. Morning, Ivan. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. Welcome. So, I'm currently in 3 positions. Shorts on Euro Yen, longs on New Zealand CAD, and longs on Aussie CHF. I'll go through my watch list in a moment, but those are positions I'm managing right now. Euro Yen, I've been very keen for shorts on this one for a while, looking to see if I can capitalize on a big swing. And that's really the attitude I have to Euro Yen, is that if the market is going to complete my bias, if the market is going to form a lower high and see the swing down, well, I want to be in the trade for it, because the risk is definitely worth the reward. This is the position I'm in currently. I got short off the back of NFP last week. The entry was on the 4-hour chart on that candle there, stops above the high. I've gone break even because we have just about broke some structure now, so I don't really want to be sitting in a losing position when I've capitalized on a break of structure there. If the market was to return back to highs, I will have to look for some re-entries. But the plan is looking for that swing to the downside. Probably will look in some gains at the low here if we get there. But the plan really is to capitalize on the swing trade and capitalize on the idea that if I expand it even to the weekly chart, there is still that possible head and shoulder pattern that is potentially playing out. That's your resistance there. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, and this is your kind of right shoulder to a degree. And I'm looking for us to break to the downside. So I'm expecting a lot more downside for Euro Yen and some other yen pairs as well. I'll go through my watch list in a moment. But yeah, we have come back into resistance here at the high. Price kind of broke through a little bit. We're looking quite bullish. But we recovered, closed bearish, and that was my entry signal, and I've hopped into the trade. So we'll see how that goes. Still a long way to go. If that's going to hit targets, we're looking about 873 pips back to the lows there. So yeah, if this trade does play out, I'm not expecting it to be done by the end of the week. So yeah, in Euro Yen shorts, in also Aussie CHF longs. This trade I entered back, was it 30th of April. So was that last week or the week before? That was last week. So yeah, so I entered this one last week off the retest of the low here. Again, the idea with Aussie CHF is that price is coming from all-time lows. So I do expect price to be looking to recover. If you look to the left here for Aussie CHF, pretty much every time the market does create a new all-time low, it does recover it. So low, push back up, new low, push back up, new low, push back up, so on and so forth, as we can all see. And that's exactly what I'm trying to capitalize on now. Again, new low, so again, another push back up. The only thing with this kind of thinking is that you don't know necessarily where that new low is going to form. It could be here, it could be down here before we push back up. But the idea is that at these prices, we do not sustain. So once the new low is created, the bigger move is most likely going to be in the opposite direction. So I'm just waiting to see bullish structure and then look for those entries to take some buys. I've gone to break even already because price has created new highs for me, so I don't want to be sitting in this position if it does turn against me. Because again, this is the bullish structure I'm trading. Push, pull back, push, pull back, push. So anticipate another pullback and a push. Perhaps the next pullback might take me out of the position. It might do so, it might not. We'll have to wait and see. But the idea is that I'm looking to capitalize on that retracement. We've got a lovely level of support here, which we broke through and haven't got the retest of, so I would imagine we are likely to come back and retest that zone. Hence why I'm targeting there. But yeah, I am long in this position. Just going to see how this one gets going. But the only thing I don't like about it at the moment is that this last bullish leg was really corrective. Not like we see much momentum here. So that does make me believe that we might kind of have a deeper pullback. But to be honest, if it does have a deeper pullback, if it does take me out of the position for a break even, I'll look for another re-entry. Because again, as long as we maintain this bullish structure, I am still looking to buy it and anticipating us to continue back to those highs. If we were to take out this low, then I'll rethink things. So there we go. So yeah, I'm currently long on Aussie CHF. And also I I am long on New Zealand CAD. That's a very bad voice break there. Let me get some water. And I'm also long on New Zealand CAD as well. Want to buy New Zealand yen? Okay, I'll go through that pair in a moment, Ivan. Jasper, morning, hope you're well. Do you cover fundamentals with your trading or is it mainly technicals? Yes, I focus on technicals primarily with my trading. Yes, I will take a look at dollar yen for you, no problem. Yes, we'll take a look at oil as well. And my third position I've got going on is New Zealand CAD as well, a pair which I've been looking at for a while, but managed to get a entry for this one last week as well. Off the retest of the trend line, and yeah, look and see if we can take it back to highs and hopefully potentially further, but I'll lock in most of my gains at the high here. I do think there is a world where we do get back to here, but again, you don't want to be too greedy with your positions. The reason why I do like the buys back to that level is because from a monthly perspective, this support looks like it's holding very well, especially with the last candle of April. massive wick through the zone, to me, that's a big sign that says, okay, support is holding. If support's holding, then we're likely going to push away from support back to the next big level of resistance, which would be the high here. There's also a level here I would take into consideration, but I do think over the long run, we'll probably see a push back to the highs there if this support is well and truly going to hold. So it'll be a situation with New Zealand CAD that I take most of my profit at the high if we get there, of course, but I will leave some to run back there. And that's one of the things I want to try and focus on, is leaving positions to run for the bigger move. Of course, they're not always going to happen, but if they do, if you can leave a position to run, that small position can add up, and definitely help drive your equity curve more as well. So that's the idea there with New Zealand CAD as well. But anyway, we'll take a look at New Zealand yen for Ivan. We'll go through dollar yen as well and take a look at oil too. Good morning, Ahmed. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. If you guys are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But let's take a look at New Zealand yen. So you said you're looking to buy this one. Now, New Zealand yen and Aussie yen for that matter are two of the yen pairs which I'm not really interested, and CAD yen as well, which I'm not really interested in shorting anymore. I've still said I'm pretty bullish on the yen itself, so I'm still looking for weakness for the yen pairs. I'm looking for the yen pairs to fall because I'm expecting JPY to gain strength. However, pairs like Aussie and New Zealand yen, I'm not so interested in shorting them because I'm actually anticipating some Aussie strength and New Zealand strength coming back into the market. And also with the price action as well. I don't like it when we've had a prolonged trend in the market and then we have a really exaggerated flush in one direction, in the same direction of the trend. So when we've been trending to the downside for a while and the market aggressively has a short, I don't really like that. Normally, it does tend to mean that we're about to push in the opposite direction here. So I'm not so enthusiastic to short New Zealand yen. Aussie yen, same situation as well. And also looking at the higher time frames, we've also come back into a pretty big level of support as well. So looks like prices are reacting off the back of that too. So for those reasons, I'm not really interested in shorting New Zealand yen either. And perhaps that could mean more upside. So if you're looking to buy New Zealand yen, I would say if we could maybe spike the downside one more time through that low, that might give a nice entry there, because this is the last low which gave us the swing to the upside, creating that new high. So technically speaking, we can pull back anywhere within this range here. There's actually a lot of support here which price came back to test, so we could even pull back all the way to that area before pushing to the upside. So I wouldn't be trying to get involved here. We're close to resistance. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a safe place for a stop loss, but if you could see another spike to the downside, perhaps take out this low and then recover quickly, that could be a nice entry, or even a bigger push all the way down to this kind of area. That would be a nice place for a buy and a stop loss underneath that low, and then targets back to the high, keeping it relatively simple. If this bullish structure is going to continue, well, we expect a higher low to form and then the continuation back to the high. So I wouldn't be looking at buys anywhere here. I think not the best place, optimal place for that. If we could push down a little bit more as we approach the low here at 85,260, or this kind of zone here, 84,800, I feel like those are much better places to be looking for a buy for New Zealand yen. And of course, your risk reward will be much better for it as well. So if you're looking to buy it, I would wait for price to come a lot deeper first before looking to take some longs. And then, yeah, if you're looking for a swing, back to highs would make the most sense. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking for New Zealand yen buys. Okay, we'll take a look at dollar yen and oil. Charles GJ, yes, we'll take a look at that. That's on my watch list, so I'm definitely going to go through that one. So USD JPY, another yen pair, which again, long term, I do think we will see a lot more downside of, but again, not so interested in shorting anymore because of one big reason, well, two actually. The big reason is that we've come back to major weekly support, so I'm not interested in shorting dollar yen anymore. Unless we pull away from this area, then I'll be more inclined to short it. And two is that we've already had such a big move to the downside anyway. I don't really want to be looking for more sells at these prices because we already had a big move. if price can now take a bit of a breather, see some upside, well, then that would interest me because we're no longer shorting directly into major support and the market's already had a bit of a breather, perhaps into some nice areas of structure where we might actually see price turn around. So the shorts from a swing point of view will be much better up here than down there. So that's why I'm not really looking to short dollar yen as of just yet. And this is still bullish territory for me. But it doesn't mean we can't fall. Just because I don't want to short it doesn't mean the market won't see some downside. It just means it's not optimal for my trading style. But I did say at the start of the week that if we can come back into this area, this could be a nice place for a buy. Did see a small reaction, but nothing of a swing. And price has broken through that. So with dollar yen, it's kind of make or break now because we're coming back into the low here, which actually funded this move to the upside. So now we're back here again. So if you're looking to long, this is actually the best place for it if you can get a stop loss underneath the low there, because if that stop loss is taken and if this low is taken, then the market was probably never going to push to the upside from that area anyway, and we're probably going to come back to the lows here. So some entries around here actually look good for the buys, and of course if that plays out, you've got a pretty nice target to work with back to 145.887. That'll probably give you a decent risk to reward there on that move. But yeah, dollar yen, I haven't really seen much rejection or much kind of strength from the buyers kick in. So I would suggest wait to see if we can roll back into the zone again, maybe find some wicks, probably allow you to get a stop loss a bit close to the low there, and then look for some entries for a buy. If we were to roll over and just break structure, then of course I wouldn't look to buy at that point. But this zone is still holding. Nice kind of area of demand, which, like I said, kickstarted this move here. So if we can continue to hold that, the buys make sense. And I do think this will be a smart place for a buy. And again, you're looking at a decent push back to the highs if you were to see that move there as well. So for now, still pretty bullish on dollar yen. But like I said, long-term move, I'm expecting a big sell. It's just we haven't had the retracement yet. So being patient for that. In terms of oil, so oil, I've been talking a lot about shorts for this one, just haven't really seen much retracement. Initially, I was talking about shorts back at 66, I believe. Yep, so I was looking at this big zone here, lovely level of support and resistance running through the market. Was looking for us to come back and retest that level, but unfortunately, the market just missed it and was a little bit too bearish. Then we cracked the downside out of that ascending channel there. I said a retest of support, that looks good. Haven't even seen that as well. So the market's been very, very bearish, but just not really giving good setups for it. Unless you kind of shorted the breakout, then that would have been a nice move. But if you're looking for a break and retest, haven't really seen much of that happen as of late there. I still think that would be a nice place for a short. If price was to get here again, I still think that would be a nice place for a short. Looks like price might be kind of manipulating those highs there, so potentially that could then give us a nice sell. So I still like that for a short. Price has come back into the lows here and we're starting to respect them, so maybe that's a sign that we're starting to lose some of this bearish momentum, so I would be a bit cautious of that. But yeah, from a trading perspective, if you can find a short here, take it back into the lows, that's a great trade in itself and a pretty healthy target as well. So yeah, I think shorts here for oil look pretty good. I'll just wait for a little bit more upside before shorting. 62 looks really good to me. And then yeah, targets back down at 56. Make the most sense to me. But yeah, on the higher time frames, oil is still very much a bearish market. So, and especially since we cracked through that support, that could open up a lot more downside. But yeah, that's the best I can see for oil for now. Okay, so I'll go through GJ next. For Charles, Rachel, cannot thank you enough for sharing your knowledge. It's truly appreciated. That's great to hear. That's great to hear, Rachel. I'm glad you're finding it useful. Ahmed, BTC and the DAX. I haven't actually looked at the DAX in a while, so definitely going to take the look at that. Bitcoin last time I had a look was looking semi-bullish. Yeah, but we'll see if that's still the case. Jasper, how long have you been trading for? It would be interesting to hear your journey. It would be long, so it could be long, so if you got time. I think I've got a video on my channel that kind of summarizes my journey a bit more in detail. If you go to my channel and go to the Forex Education playlist and scroll down, there might be a video there. But essentially, I've been trading for probably going to come up to 9 years actually when I first got introduced. Actually, yeah. So this summer would be coming up to 9. But yeah, first got introduced when I was 17, and the first 2 years, I was doing A levels and I went to university, so I was kind of on and off for trading for a while. But yeah, I wasn't really enjoying university that much, so I decided to focus on trading a lot more. And from then on, left university to really focus on trading, and I've been trading since then. So it's been quite a while. Anyway, let's go through pound yen. So yeah, pound yen, I'm still looking to sell. I've gone to break even on euro yen, so I don't mind hopping into another yen position because the risk is not really there anymore. I don't like it if I'm selling 2 yen pairs because they're basically going to both play out or both fail at the same time. So I'm basically just doubling the risk on a trade basically. So I'd rather take 1 yen position, get that to break even, and then I have a license to take another yen position because worst case scenario, I take a loss on one of them, the other one will be a break even. So it's only just -1R there, which is the case I'm in now. Euro yen's break even for me, so I don't mind hopping into pound yen as well. I have the same bias in both of them. You can see the market structure on the daily chart, very clean highs. One high over there, lovely low, another lower high, new low, another lower high, new low. So you've got pretty clear market structure here for pound yen. So looking at another push for another push down, nothing more complex than that. In the long run, I'm expecting us to take up this wick low here. This was our massive drop last year, and ever since we kind of had that drop, I've been looking for price to go and take out this low. And in my book, it's slowly but surely, well, I shouldn't say surely, that's the wrong word to use, but slowly and likely going to happen. As long as we maintain this bearish structure, I still do see us rolling over. So for pound yen, as long as we don't take out this high here, I am bearish on the pair. So as long as we don't take out this high, I'm bearish on the pair. And yeah, looking for us to roll over. So in terms of entries, that's where it gets a little bit interesting because ideally I want to be up at the highs. I want to get my stop loss here. This is where I want to get my stop loss. Nowhere else is probably optimal. So I kind of want to see a push up, respect resistance, probably nice double top, and that will be my excuse to sell it. Something like this, stops above the high and then targets at least back to the low here, and you can see the risk reward is looking pretty favorable. I push back into the low there, and then things go very well. Maybe leave positions to run back into 180, which is the wick we just discussed there as well. So that gives a really nice opportunity for a big trade. And again, just taking advantage of these swing highs. That's all I'm looking to do. If price goes and breaks structure, I'll stand corrected. I'll reanalyze because at that point I would shift my bias to bullish. Then I'll look for a higher low. Then I'll look for another buy, and so on and so forth. But for now, structure's still holding, so I'm pretty bearish on pound yen. I understand that on the lower time frames, people are probably looking for some buys for pound yen. As we approach the low here, this is where we got a nice rally to the upside from. So yeah, I can see price probably having that rally. In fact, I want it to happen because it might give me the opportunity for the double top. But that's all I expect it to be. I don't expect to see a prolonged trend here for pound yen. Of course, I could be wrong. I'm just going with my analysis and sticking to that bias until proven otherwise. This is really where I want to be looking to short from. So hopefully can see a lot more downside. So yeah, that's my take on GJ. We'll take a look at BTC and DAX next. Which pairs are you trading? I'm currently short on Euro Yen and long on New Zealand CAD and Aussie CHF. All trades I took last week, I'm just kind of managing them this week. Haven't took any new positions this week. I mean, pretty busy anyway, but I have been looking at the markets, but I haven't found any new positions yet. I will go through my watch list shortly. Let me just get through a few more pairs for people. Then I'll go through the pairs I'm looking to trade this week, or new pairs I'm looking to trade this week. Okay, BTC and ZDAX. So Bitcoin, last time I looked, yeah, it was looking pretty bullish. It still is. So yeah, Bitcoin, again, no kind of red flags here just yet. We are a little bit more corrective now. We have had a lovely bullish move and price is slowing down. So that might be a bit of a warning, but in terms of market structure, there is no significant bearish structure coming in or bearish momentum. So by no means would I be bearish on this pair at all. We had this descending channel here for a while. Price was just forming lower high after lower high, pushing down, but it was very corrective and very slow. So it was never really a dangerous move down. It was just very slow and corrective. So we've been anticipating price to push up. I actually said a retest of this level would be the best place for a long. And unfortunately, we just missed that. As we can see, that would have been a nice place for a bounce. But hey, the market's not perfect. Sometimes these things happen. You're looking for a place to buy from. The market just misses it by the smallest margin. And you see a lovely move to the upside. You know, that's one of the annoying things about trading. Yeah, it's just part of trading, really. But yeah, really nice break to the upside. Momentum looks good. In my book, I'm still looking for a pushback to the all-time high, really, or the all-time high resistance. So this kind of zone here is what I'm looking for us to get back to. As I said, if we could see pullbacks into this area, that would be a nice place for a long. That could happen now that we are a bit more corrective here. We're losing steam. Perhaps Bitcoin does go through a bit of a drop. That might provide a nice long opportunity there to find some buys and take it to the upside. But again, no kind of big red flags in terms of bearish structure or bearish momentum. So as things stand, I'm pretty bullish here on Bitcoin. And if we can have a nice move down, come back to retest some structure, I think that would be a great opportunity for a buy and targets back to the high here or the all-time high if you're feeling a little bit more confident or you really want to push the trade some more. But yeah, that's kind of my take there for Bitcoin for now. In terms of the DAX, I believe, oh my word, because I don't look at the DAX in my personal time. The only indices I look at is US 30, NAS, and S&P. Those are the only ones I kind of keep up to date with. The DAX, I don't trade it. I only look at it really for people on streams. So last time I had a look at the DAX, I believe we were trading around here. Somewhere around here. It was looking very bullish. We kind of took up the highs here. So I was like, okay, with the way the DAX is moving, this looks like potentially a V-shaped pattern. So maybe price might look to continue, but I was not expecting price to do that so quickly and so aggressively. So this is a bit of a shock to me because last time I saw price were over here, now we're there, which were back at the highs there. So the DAX, that's a very, very sharp recovery, I must say. Have we pinched the highs? Yes, we have, just about. So yeah, for the DAX, I would be looking at something like this, a correction for more upside. The way we recovered this V-shaped pattern normally does mean more upside. Let me find another example. Okay, this is a good one. Nice push down, very aggressive recovery. You get the correction and then you get continuation. This, another example, push down, push back up, kind of a correction there and then a continuation. Okay, this one didn't play out so well, but to be fair, didn't really recover that well either. Okay, this was a really nice one. Big sell, big push up, consolidation, continuation. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with the DAX here. This is kind of where momentum came from. So that would be a nice place for a buy there for continuation. But to me, this is looking really, really bullish. Really, really bullish. So I'd only be looking to buy it. Of course, not now, though. I'll wait for a retracement, but I would expect more upside there for the DAX. Very, very bullish stuff. Where was I? What's that? Can I look at SUI asking for a friend? Okay, I don't even know what that is. Is that yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'll have a look at it for you, Ivan. No problem. I told him he should wait for price to drop to 2.78 and buy it. Okay, I'll have a look. What's up, Campbell? Just finally finished the course thoroughly, man. It's well. Hey, congratulations, well done. It's worth the 2 months, man. I see and understand more. That's great to hear. Yeah, again, that's a good effort on your part as well, because the course isn't something that you complete overnight. It takes a lot of time to go through that as well and stay consistent with it. So definitely congratulations to you on that. But I'm glad you found the course useful. Again, the idea is that with the course, it's kind of like giving you tools to then use for your own good and decide what you want to focus on, decide what you want to discard potentially. And it allows you to kind of able to spot trading opportunities and trade them, because that's essentially what everyone wants to find. You know, how do I look at a market? How do I find an opportunity and how do I trade it? If you've got that, then you can add things to that. You can take away things from that. And you've got that solid foundation to actually trade the market. Then you can do whatever you want from there onwards. But of course, make sure you always keep a journal. But yeah, good to hear, my man. Good to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Is this Ronaldo? Is this Ronaldo? Is this the Ronaldo market? Sue against the dollar. I'm joking. Oh, okay, it's cryptocurrency. Don't know why I thought it was a currency pair. Okay, so you said okay, I told him we should wait for price to drop to 2.78 and then buy. What do you think? 2.78, whereabouts is that? Okay, so the high here roughly. Yeah, I would just by looking at it now, I think that would be the smartest place for a buy. Nice kind of rally there. Could be the start of something, and especially because of how corrected this move here was. So yeah, I would definitely agree. The only thing is that momentum is there's a lot of momentum here. So sometimes when there's a lot of momentum in the market, we don't always get a big pullback. Sometimes the market will just kind of form support and be on its way. So I wouldn't say it's the worst idea trying to find some buys here, especially with the wicks here to the downside. I would just say if you do look to try and enter some buys here, be prepared to be stopped out early and be prepared to re-enter further down. Because the thing is, if you do catch the buy and it does play out, well, great. You're in a nice trade there. Let's see how far it goes. Worst case scenario, you do get stopped out. But if you re-enter and the winning trade makes back the loss, it's not such a big deal either. So I would say this is the more optimal place to enter, as if I'm going to look for a trade, it would be down here or even down here as well. These would be the places I'll be looking at for buys. I wouldn't be looking to enter here. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is that sometimes we see shadow pullback. So taking a buy setup here isn't the worst idea in the world. But if you're looking for a position where the market's a bit more stretched, these are the areas which I would say are more favorable. So yeah, I would definitely agree. 2.78 looks good, and I would even argue 2.37 down there looks good too. But if you do enter a trade here, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you do get stopped out, just make sure you're looking for your re-entries as well. Some people take trades, get stopped out, and just think the whole idea is wrong. Not necessarily. You might just be stopped out on the trade idea, but the setup itself, the idea itself could still play out. It just means you might be stopped out before it does happen. But yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so what's up, Manzondi? Did I say hello? I'm not too sure. Hope you're doing good. Lebsy, what's up? What's your thoughts on Kiwi CAD? Okay, from an intraday perspective, I know you said you were looking for longs on in the long term last week. Yeah, I'm actually currently long in on Kiwi CAD, on New Zealand CAD. I'm long on that one. I have the setup and grain in my head. That's good. That's essentially what the course is for. To have a setup, to have an idea of how to trade the market and how you want to manage trades and exit trades. Once you've got that, then you got that solid basis. Trading is not so much more confusion than guessing. It's kind of systematic, and then of course you can grow. The key thing is journaling as well. I can say from experience that I probably learned just as much from journaling and just looking over previous trades and reviewing my trades as I did from any type of strategy I ever laid eyes upon. So big part of trading is just reviewing your trades. Anywho, let's take a look at New Zealand CAD. So yeah, I'm actually long on New Zealand CAD. I entered entries down here on the 1st of May last week. Trade's going pretty well right now. Seen a nice ride to the upside. Still not done yet. I'm still looking for a push back to the highs there. From an intraday perspective, it's not looking too great, to be honest. It's a little bit corrective. It's lacking a bit of momentum. But I'll probably still be bullish from an intraday perspective. This is the market structure I will be keeping an eye on. I'm not the big fan of this last bullish leg. It was very corrective, but if we could push back down to this kind of area, I feel like that would be a nice place for a buy. There's a weird double bottom, but that would be a nice place for a buy. And again, targets back to resistance make the most sense there. So yeah, I think from an intraday point of view, definitely not the cleanest charts because of how it's moving. It's not like it's trending well, but we are trending, which is the key thing. We are seeing higher highs and higher lows. So for us to sell off here, we have to break structure, which would be this low here. So as long as the market can stay above this, well, are we expecting a higher low to form, push back into resistance, and of course more upside from there onwards as well. Back to the high there on the left at 0.831, we'll call it. So yeah, from an intraday point of view, I would still be pretty bullish on New Zealand CAD. I can see prices struggling at highs there, so maybe you're looking for some shorts up at the high, but I would be careful as we approach these higher lows, because if the structure is going to continue and the structure is going to hold, these are areas where I do expect price to turn around. So from an intraday point of view, that's kind of where I'm at with New Zealand CAD. But I have to admit, from an intraday point of view, the price action isn't that great. But yeah, I am expecting more upside. And yeah, I'm currently long on this one on the 4-hour chart as well. So I do have a bullish bias from that time frame there too. But hopefully that made sense. Honestly, don't know what it is. Fair enough. It's probably just a random cryptocurrency, to be honest. So yeah, with my watch list for the week, I've got about 5 pairs which I'm looking at, excluding the pairs I'm currently trading. Probably none of them actually looking likely for entries just yet. It is Wednesday, things can very much change quickly, but none of them are kind of really in areas where I'm looking to short. In terms of the setup itself, they do look good. So for example, like I said earlier, GJ on the watch list, if I can see a push back to the high, great. I'll be looking for entries to push this back down again. The idea is that I'm looking to continue this market structure, anticipating the lower high for a swing back into the low. So that's pretty much straightforward. USD pairs, I like quite a few of them now. Aussie dollar, I still really like this one to the upside, but I need that correction, which again could take a week itself. So this is why I'm kind of saying that I have quite a few pairs on the watch list, but just not quite ready to be bought yet. The key thing with Aussie dollar is that even with this breakout, price still looks relatively tired, still looks quite fatigued. We're not really seeing much of a rally. Price is already failing at highs already there. So I do think the retracement is still likely, but again, it hasn't happened yet. It's not here yet. It's not quite ready to be bought. New Zealand dollar, same situation as well. I really like this one to the upside, but I need that pullback. Price looks like it's failing at the highs there, which again, a good sign. struggling to break resistance there, likely going to push down, and then I can find some buys there. Pound USD, I like this to the upside too. It looks like we're forming a bit of a possible head and shoulder pattern, left head, right shoulder. Looks like we can see some upside there too, and then again look to take it to the upside as well, but again, need the retracement. And dollar CAD as well, I like this to the downside, need some retracement, lovely areas to take some shorts from. So USD pairs are great, I like the opportunities, just I'm probably about a week away from actually finding any setups. At the very least, it might be even more than a week before they actually do set up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. The USD pairs, yen pairs, it's just GJ I'm interested in, of course Euro yen, which I'm interested in as well because I'm trading it. Swiss yen, CAD yen, Aussie, New Zealand, not much of a fan of shorting them. Some of the crosses I do like the look of, so Euro Aussie, I do like the look of this to the downside. So again, Euro Aussie, another pair which I do expect to have a pretty big drop. I'm looking for us to come back and retest the highs here basically. So I wanted to keep shorting this to get back to that level around 1.7, big psychological level there. I do think there's a good chance price would be attracted to that level. Reason why is because when price does have these exaggerated moves to the upside, we do tend to recover pretty much the whole move. So I do expect us to at least come back and retest this area, even if we are going to continue higher. So I do think Euro Aussie has a lot more downside to give. We recently cracked through some support here, which was nice. Now I'm looking to see if we can pull back into that area as resistance for another sell. We've got some highs here I'm looking at, 1, 2, and a third one there roughly. And that's kind of where I'm looking to short. This was on the weekly analysis as the bonus pair. So again, looking for more downside. I'm not really interested in buying it at all. I know we've come back into a nice level over here. Was a nice rejection this morning from this morning. So it's been a nice reaction there and perhaps could give us a push, but I'm not trying to follow this bullish trend anymore. I am looking for some counter trend ideas and I'm looking to take this to the downside. So Euro Aussie looks good. Euro NZD I like the look of as well. Euro NZD I like the look of as well. I think Euro Aussie is a bit better, but it's the same situation. If I go to the weekly chart, really exaggerated move to the upside. I do think we'll at least come back and retest resistance here around 1.8485. So again, I like the bias with this one too. I think I probably would wait for a push back into resistance to short this because this has proven to be a really nice level in the market. And I wouldn't mind having a stop loss above that. Even if we could wick through that, that would be really nice. And that would be a great place for a short because this is all bullish territory. If I expand to the weekly chart, this is where price stalled for a little bit and then had a really big move to the upside. So for me, this is all bullish territory. As a swing trader, this is not where I want to be selling. That is an awful arrow. Let me do that again. That is again, how do I do? There we go. So yeah, that is an awful place to be looking to sell from as a swing trader, because again, the idea of a swing trade is that you're trying to capture a swing in the market, which probably is going to take more than a day to play out, and you don't want to be holding trades for more than a day to the downside in this area. It's fine if you're short up here and you're holding into that level because your entry's up there, your stop loss is up there, probably at break even by then as well, so that's fine. But if you're going to enter a new short position here, you're asking for a lot of trouble. Sometimes you might catch a breakout, but most of the time it's going to be either consolidation or price is going to stop you out pretty quickly. So this is a big no-no area for a sell. So I'm waiting for price to push away from that zone back into resistance where I can position myself well, stop loss here, and that gives me the best opportunity to capitalize on a swing. At least back into the same level, but if we break through, even better. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for Euro NZD as well. But like I said, I think Euro Aussie looks a little bit cleaner, so I'd wait for that one. Pound NZD, I think I missed the boat on this one. It may pull back, but I think I'm asking a lot from this one. The same situation as, not quite the same situation as Euro Aussie and Euro NZD, because those had a much more exaggerated move to the upside. But in pound entities case, we've been in a channel for quite a while. I do think price is running out a bit of steam. I do think we're due a bigger correction at some point. So I'm pretty bearish on this one. And I'm looking for a double top over here, but I don't think I'll see one. Price has come back into the lows here pretty well. So yeah, I would get into a trade if something like this could happen. But we'll see if we get that. So I like these ideas, these setups. But like I said previously, these again, probably a week away from forming. So really nothing for me to do just yet. Yeah, and I also like New Zealand CHF to the upside as well. I don't mind entering this one because I am break even on Aussie CHF. So if Aussie was to get break even, I'll be out of that trade, and I don't mind entering New Zealand CHF because the risk will be fresh. But again, similar with this one as well, we come from all-time lows. I do think we're due a pretty big correction at some point. So I'm focused on the buys here. I know the trend is down, and normally I would be looking to sell such a market, but not all-time lows. So I'm looking to see if I can find some entries at this area here. If we could push down, respect the low, find an entry like that, that'll be beautiful. Take it back into resistance and maybe even further as well. I'm looking to see if I can get it back into this area where that move kind of originated from as well. So that would be an idea there for New Zealand CHF. But we'll see if that happens. I feel like Aussie CHF takes me out break even, and we see that push down. Did I delete the... I deleted it accidentally. My position is here. Starts break even anyway. So yeah, if it does push down and take me out break even, then yeah, I'll be out break even, but I'll probably shift my attention to New Zealand CHF because at that point, that one will be looking a lot better. But we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my watch list. Not a lot of pairs which look like they're about to give me entries. USD pairs look like they're a mile away. Pound yen looks like it's very far away. Crosses far-ish away, and New Zealand CHF still got a while to go as well. But again, not too bothered. I'm in 3 positions at the moment, so it's not like I'm desperate to find any trades. I'm very much just managing what I've got right now. Aussie Swiss longs, New Zealand CAD longs. Did I delete it here as well? I need to stop doing that. And of course, Euro Yen shorts as well. So, by my book, there's not a lot to do. No problem, Elliot. Happy to help. I will take a look at some of the indices now. I haven't gone through, well, I've gone through the DAX, but I haven't gone through any of the other ones as well. And we'll see what happens with the indices going forward, because I'm still kind of a bit hit and miss. I know the DAX is completely recovered, which was great stuff, but looking at the NASDAQ, this one again has seen a lot of upside, but it's coming into a very interesting area because people are like, okay, is the market going to be bullish? Are we going to be bearish? Is the market going to push back to highs here? Are we going to turn around? The answer is no one really truly knows. And as a trader, you don't really want to be thinking like that either. Is the market going to go here? Is it going to go there? Because again, it doesn't matter how good your analysis is, you're not going to know where the market's going to go. All you can do is position yourself well in the market, that if the market does go this direction, well, you can profit from it and make a decent return. That's all you can do. So in this area, I would be short bias on the NASDAQ. This is our lower high. This gave us our strong move down. If the market respects this, this is a prime place to be looking to short. If, however, price was to break structure and take out this high, well, that would scrap that bearish bias pretty quickly, At that point, looking for pullbacks and looking for a pretty clean trend all the way back to highs at that point. So that makes things very simple for me. If price takes out this high, I'm bullish. If you keep respecting it, I'm bearish. Where the price is going to end up back here, or back here, again, as a trader, not necessarily none of our business really. It's just about, can you take an opportunity? Can you find a trade that makes sense? And can you pivot as well? At the moment, I'll be bearish. If we break the high, I'll be bullish. And then these are the lows you're looking for buys. But of course, we haven't done that yet. So I still quite like the sells here for NAS. I kind of like how corrective prices are looking as well. So I would suggest if you can push back to highs there, respect them, maybe form a nice double top. That could be a really nice entry, perhaps even on the 4-hour chart. And then something like that could look like a trade. And again, if it does pan out, you're looking at a beautiful swing to the lows. And again, you don't have to be so aggressive with your shorts either. You can target this low, you can target this area, even there as well. Don't have to be looking for the home run with every trade. It's just that if the market is going to continue bearish, this is where it's likely to do that from. So there is that possibility we do see that full swing. And you can see how the risk reward is looking for that idea. So for now, I still do like shorts here for NAS. S&P. S&P pretty much the same situation in terms of, again, pulling back to areas of supply over here. And we've got the high over here as well, which is where the move started from. So this is still bearish territory for me for the S&P. If price was to break structure to the upside, take out the high, then of course that would shift me to bullish. And then I'll be looking for a push all the way back to highs here, 61.47, and probably beyond that as well. Because of course, we expect new highs at that point. But yeah, I need that 5,800 to break. For NAS, I need 2,300 to break. And for the Dow Jones, Dow Jones is very far away, but I will need the high over here to break, which is 42,400. So yeah, I'll need that high to break. But again, even in the meantime here, I wouldn't mind some longs here for US 30. We've seen a low, high, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, another higher high. Let's say if we were to spike to the downside here, that could be another high low, which takes us back into resistance. That could be a nice trade on perhaps an hourly time frame, or even lower potentially. And that there could take you to the upside and potentially back to 42,400 and maybe beyond that as well there. So I think on the lower time frames, buys look good. Even for pairs like the S&P, which I said I'm pretty bearish for, drop into a lower chart, like an hourly time frame, you've actually got bullish structure which you're looking to follow. And I would say if price was to if price was to flush the downside here, I think that would be a nice buy, because that would be my anticipation for another higher low here. And then that would take us back to resistance, and that could be your trade there and call it a day. So it really depends on your bias, depends on the time frames you're looking to work on, depends what you're looking for from the market as well. If you're looking for a trend continuation, you're looking for a mean reversion opportunity, are you looking to scalp, are you looking to catch breakouts? It really depends what you're looking for and how long you're looking to hold trades for, and what your average risk reward is, what you're looking for as well. All of that is unique to each trader. But again, we're trading the same markets here, so position yourself well is pretty much what you want to be focusing on, and then how you manage that is down to your style and down to what you're looking for. But intraday, again, buys look good, but from a swing perspective, primarily daily chart, that is still very much an area to keep a close eye on. But something like that, flush the downside, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow, I think that will be a decent buy opportunity there to take it back to the upside. And of course, same thing for the NASDAQ as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep, really nice bullish structure. Again, if this was to push back down, I like the support lows here. In fact, we've got some equal bottoms there. If the market can push down, take out that low, recover that, This again could form a really nice higher low in comparison to that low there. So that's your next one. Again, you can get possibly ride that to the highs again, and then maybe discuss some shorts later on. But yeah, for me, all I'm seeing is high lows at this moment in time. So intraday buys look good for all the indices right now, major US indices that is. But we're still trading in areas of supply, still trading in areas where low highs can form. So being cautious of that and keeping on the lookout for it to happen, because if it does, I do think we've got some really nice trades to be looking at there for the indices. But of course, all of this will depend on what the dollar does. And dollar for me is still very, very flat, but still due that pullback, still likely to have that pullback. If it does drop, the thing is, if price does drop like this, it doesn't really change anything in terms of the pullback, because the more we continue dropping, the more aggressive the pullback will be, and probably the bigger it will be as well. So if we do keep falling, okay, let the market keep falling. I'm not really interested to take the shorts, because if it does keep falling, it would just be giving us kind of these pullbacks here, which, don't get me wrong, will be great on like an hourly chart. That'll be a nice trade maybe for a day or two, capitalize on some nice continuations. If hourly or maybe 30-minute chart is where you find your entries, there could be some nice swings to take and maybe some buys for euro. But at some point, we will give us that bigger pullback, because we're not going to sell forever. Even when in 2022, where we were very, very bullish, even then we got some big corrections over here. That was pretty big. Consolidated there, big correction there, another one there, big one there as well. So even when the trend is really strong, like it was in 2022, we still had some decent corrections. Here, we've had some really big drops, but not much of a correction. The biggest correction we've had since the drop over here was probably this move, which is right at the start. That was just a 2-day move there as well. This is very small, so we haven't really had much upside. So the market is due that pullback, and when it does happen, it'll probably be nice and quite sudden as well. If it does keep falling, I would expect it to be pretty aggressive, and then that will be the opportunity where I look to position myself short and hopefully capitalize on a swing back into the lows and so on and so forth. So even if we do just continue, it just means that my estimation of the pullback was just a bit early. Maybe the market does it, a few more swings lower, and then we see that pullback. But yeah, for us to see that pullback will require some dollar strength, and that's kind of what I'm looking at, because if we do get dollar strength, perhaps that does give S&P, NAS, US 30, those markets, the indices, that possible move to the downside, and because they're positioned very well for lower highs to form, kind of makes sense. So I would be quite skeptical of that happening. But yeah, for the USD pairs, the same situation. If euro keeps pushing, I do expect a big pullback. We've taken out some major highs, we're quite stretched. So yeah, I do think the pullback will be pretty big, but at the moment, nothing really to go from here. And to be honest, the market has been quite flat, to be fair, ever since we had the momentum a few weeks ago. Markets have been really flat, haven't seen much movement. Difficult to really look for any kind of real kind of good opportunities, even the low time frames as well. I don't trade the lower time frames, but I can see, for example, if I was looking at Euro USD, drops in the hourly chart, I'll probably be having a bit of a hard time here. Trading on the hourly with these conditions. And I'm probably going to make a video about that, actually, about trading conditions, because it is a very important part of trading. Know what optimal conditions are for your trading style, and then actually waiting for those conditions to be met before trading. If you're looking for choppy conditions, well, then this is probably something you're looking to operate in. If you're looking for trending conditions, then you want the market to be, of course, in that trend, not kind of stalling for too long, seeing a lot of momentum. That's where you're looking to find your entries. And then when things start to kind of disappear, the momentum starts to drop, then that's when you kind of hold back as well. Momentum comes back, that's when you look to trade it, get back into the markets as well. Right now, euro is very flat, pound's looking very flat as well. I think that just basically comes back to the USD being flat overall as well. But I think a lot of markets haven't seen a lot of moves. But yeah, I think for myself, I'm just going to keep an eye on all those few positions I'm in. I probably doubt I do take a new trade this week, unless there was a freak pullback, maybe on like a pound yen. I don't see it personally, but maybe it does happen. Yeah, it's not too far away. It could happen actually. So maybe a short on pound yen is something I can get this week. USD pairs I don't see happening this week at all. Crosses, maybe. Euro Aussie's not too far away. It isn't too far away. But I got a feeling if we were to get there, probably set up for next week anyway. And then New Zealand CHF, that's still quite far away as well. So I don't expect that to form at all just yet. So I'll be cautious of that. But anyway, I'm going to start to go through some of the crosses, because there has been some opportunities on the crosses which I've kind of passed upon, which have looked okay, but probably not to the degree, to the quality I want it to. So I kind of pass on those opportunities, because I do get quite a lot of opportunities, because I do look at 32 markets altogether. So there's a lot of movement I'm monitoring, but again, I'm not looking at all of those 32 markets throughout the week. I'm mainly looking at them throughout the weekend, and then I'll create a watch list, and then those set pairs on my watch list will be the pairs I monitor during the week. Of course, during the streams, I'm looking at quite a lot of pairs, but that's mainly for me just to share my opinion, and of course for you guys to know what I'm looking at as well. But there's only a few pairs which we've gone through, which I'm actually looking to trade. But anyway, in terms of the crosses, like I said, pound NZD looks good, Euro Aussie, Euro NZD looks good. Pound Aussie, I'm not that much keen on. It's a very similar pair to the pairs I've just mentioned, so I do expect them to do the same thing, but the price action isn't looking as ripe, should we say, as the other ones. So I'm gonna focus a little bit more on pound NZD, Euro Aussie, Euro NZD. But again, it's the same situation in terms of we've had a really big move to the upside for pound Aussie. We've taken out major weekly highs here, monthly highs you can call it. This is from COVID. So I'm expecting a bit of a pullback for price to at least come back and retest some of these highs before we can look to buy it back up again. So personally, what I'm looking at is something like this, and then a push down, and maybe a push back into resistance. That could be a nice short. But again, was too far away from that. C stream, yes, I will take a look at dollar yen for you, no problem. So yeah, pound Aussie looks pretty good there. But I think Euro Aussie looks a lot better, Euro NZ looks a lot better, and pound NZ looks a lot better. And again, I'm not looking to trade all of those pairs as well. I'm just going to wait to see whichever one sets up the best, and I'll look to trade that one. But in terms of a bias, in terms of what I'm expecting pound Aussie to do, this is definitely what I'm looking for. In terms of, I'll do dollar yen now. In terms of dollar yen, like I said, I do think this is a decent place to keep an eye for a buy. This is our higher low, which gave us this swing to the upside to the high. So as long as price can respect this area, there is that possibility we see a nice swing back to the high and possibly more upside. Now, I'm pretty much bearish on dollar yen in the long term, as I'm looking for a pullback for us to push up and then push down. And in terms of where I'm looking for us to push into, this would be my preferred area. A really nice big low here, nice swing to the upside. If we can come back and retest that, I think that'll be a solid place to short the market from and expect more downside. So I kind of do want to see more of a pullback here for dollar yen, but I'm not looking to trade it, if that makes sense. I'm looking to short from here, yes, but I'm not looking to buy it to that level. just because I expect this to be a pullback and this to give me really the meat of the move. So that's really the opportunity which I want to be looking to get involved in. But for now, we've had some nice bullish structure. We're coming back into the low. As long as we can maintain respect to this low here, well, the pullback is on and I do expect the upside. The moment we do break the low here, then I'll scrap that bias. We're probably going to push back to lows and then we'll see what we do. Maybe we form a big double bottom and bounce. Maybe we break through. We'll see when we get there. But for now, this bullish structure still has some fuel in the tank as long as we can maintain respect to this zone. So for entries, I would suggest wait for us to sell off again so we can get a better entry. Maybe some stops underneath the low there. And then see if we can capitalize on a swing to the upside. So that's the idea. I think looks decent there on maybe an hourly chart for entry. No problem, C stream, happy to help. So yeah, I mean, with the yen pairs, I'm still very much bullish on the yen itself, but it's a bit more of a long-term bias. I'll look at the yen basket. Oh, that is an awful spelling. If I have a look at the yen basket here, and look at the structure of it on the daily chart, well, you can see that we do have a pretty okay-ish, I wouldn't say it's the best market structure you're going to see, because it definitely isn't. Again, a key characteristic, what makes market structure healthy and something good or likely to continue is momentum. You know, if you're seeing strong moves and then slow pullbacks, strong moves, slow pullbacks, strong moves, well, that is a very healthy trend. And pullbacks and finding opportunities to follow the trend will be good opportunities based on those conditions. If the market is very corrective, like this one, not really seeing much momentum to the upside and overall quite corrective, well, it's a sign that the trend is fatiguing and perhaps we are closer to an end to the trend and perhaps getting ready to reverse. So that's kind of why I'm looking for the yen basket probably take out this high. Then after that, we might go for a pretty big down move. So I'm not expecting this to last forever because of how corrective it's moving. But nonetheless, we are still respecting structure. This was our last swing low, which gave us the swing to the upside. So as long as price does stay above this low here, I do remain bullish here on the yen basket and expecting a push up. And now, for people who don't know, the yen basket just encompasses the yen against multiple currencies. And if the yen basket is moving up, it means it's a lot stronger than quite a few currencies, which mean yen is strong at the moment. And you're going to be expecting Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, Euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, CAD yen, probably to be moving down against the yen if the yen basket is moving up. So as you can see, we're still respecting some areas over here. And if we can maintain that, rally to the upside, see some new highs, well, that should give us a nice bearish swing on Euro yen, a nice bearish swing on pound yen, which are the two yen pairs I'm really liking. And perhaps dollar yen as well, but of course USD will have its say. But for now, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the yen basket. But anyway, in terms of the crosses, Euro pound has looked interesting as well. I was actually hoping it can pull back a little bit greater. I said on the weekly analysis, this is a level which looks good to me. Now, Euro pound was never my watch list. It's never really a pair which I'm looking a lot at. The opportunity has to be very, very good for me to take a trade in Euro pound, just because from experience, I know that this market does chop around a lot. And for someone who likes to trade market swings and follow trends and catch lower highs and higher lows, this is not the best pair to do it in. Sometimes it does give good opportunities, which is why I do look at it and do trade it from time to time, but emphasis is on the time to time, because most of the time, as you can see, since 2016, it's been completely flat. There was a nice-ish trend over here down, but it's been flat for the most part. So I'm always a bit skeptical looking for opportunities on Euro pound, because I know its nature. But I did say some buys here look good, so on the retest of that high there. Again, just kind of missed out on it, but I wouldn't rule it out completely just yet. We could still make our way down to that zone before buying, so I would keep an eye on that. But yeah, still very bullish in Euro Pound. And as I said in the weekly analysis, I wouldn't try and hold a position here back to highs. It's not a market where I'm looking to swing a trade back to highs and continue a trend. It's a market where I'll look for opportunities where we're likely to bounce from, enter at those areas, and kind of monitor quite aggressively how price moves afterwards, and have multiple targets as well. So let's say if we were to push down, back to resistance, that'll definitely be a target. This here will definitely be a target as well. But yeah, Euro Pound buys don't still look good, but we're not quite there yet. Aussie, New Zealand dollar, another pair which doesn't move great. This one, I think I'm kind of just looking to see what we do on the higher time frames here, because we've got a lot of higher lows stacked up against each other. And we push into the same area again. So if we can hold this, it could perhaps start a big rally. If it does break to the downside through the trend line, well then, back to square one. We could see a sell-off back into the low here. But that hasn't happened yet, so we're not going to discuss that too much. But in terms of a decent trade here for Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I'm not really seeing one. Perhaps if we were to push back into support down here, that might be something to go off of. But yeah, price action great, not much momentum in the market, not a lot of pips in this pair too, so I don't really like trading it either. But I like it because there was a strong rejection down the weekly chart, so I do think more upside is definitely on the cards, but it's just a very, very choppy pair, so I would pretty much stay away from it for now. And then in terms of the CHF pairs, we'll go through some of the CAD pairs as well. Actually, we'll go through some of the CAD pairs initially. So, of course, New Zealand CAD, I'm long on that one. Looking to see if we can get pushed back into the highs. So, expecting a bullish New Zealand CAD. Aussie CAD likewise as well. Again, they're very similar pairs. So, if I'm bullish on New Zealand CAD, most of the time I'm bullish on Aussie CAD. And that does come from the higher time frames. In Aussie CAD's sake, you can see massive support here on the left. You can see what we did last month. Sounds like I'm talking about 2024 April. You can see what happened last month. Big wick to the downside. Market then pulls back up, closes above that level. So to me, this is a big rejection of support, similar to what we had with New Zealand CAD. So I do think price can start to push back up and possibly back into resistance here in the long run. Because all Aussie CAD has been doing is ranging between resistance and support. And now that we've respected support again, well, there's a good chance we push back towards resistance. So long term, I think there's more upside to be had. At the moment, I can definitely see that we're hitting some areas of supply right now. So maybe there could be some short-term selling opportunities with Aussie CAD. Also coming into some price support down the left too. So this is definitely bearish territory for New Zealand Aussie CAD. But if you do have a bit of a drop, great. I feel like we'll just form a higher low and then continue higher. So I would suggest keep an eye on that as a nice opportunity for a buy there. Perhaps a push back to the high there could look good too. So yeah, bullish on Aussie CAD, but I do think a move to the downside is pretty likely there. Might see a similar move for New Zealand CAD as well. A push back down first before the buy, but I like the correction before the continuation. Pound CAD, again, I have been looking to sell this one. I did actually take a short here. I closed the trade about halfway into drawdown there because momentum was shifting against me. It was a decent move, to be honest, because price would have hit my stop loss. It was a few pips above the high there, so I would have been taking out the trade anyway. But I was looking for the short. We did get a nice high here that formed and pushed down. Since then, we have broken out of this ascending channel. And I've been looking for us to continue lower, but it looks like support here is a bit stubborn, not quite breaking. But again, I'm only interested in shorting Aussie CAD, to be honest. Yeah, this is major resistance on the weekly chart dating back to March 2018. We've finally taken out highs there, and we've been pretty much bullish since September 2022. So in my book, not only are we taking out major resistance, and we could retrace simply because of that, but also we are very overextended. We haven't had much of a pullback. This move here has been our biggest pullback for pound CAD since 2022 September. So yeah, it's 2.5 years ago pretty much. It's been a while. So I do think a move to the downside is pretty likely, and this is a prime spot for that. So drop into the daily chart. The idea was prices back into supply, and this is a great place to be shorting and looking for a continuation. But because we're struggling so much now, I kind of want to see signs of a continuation first, and then maybe try and find some pullbacks for myself later on. Perhaps a nice retest like that, double top, and then the continuation. And that's something I will be interested in there. So I will have to keep an eye on this level here, because it's a pretty big level of resistance, which is definitely going to be acting as support, and could still send price higher up. Again, the thing about calling for reversals, not necessarily reversals, but a counter trend move, is that it could happen now, it could happen in the next leg, it could happen the leg after. You don't necessarily know where the top is going to form or when it's going to form. So you always have to be a bit more cautious with counter trend opportunities, which is why I do manage my counter trend trades a bit more aggressively compared to my pro trend positions. I like to be a bit more laid back with them, let the market do its thing. I don't want to manage the trade too closely, because it's very easy to panic and close the trade too early and see price continue in your favor. But when I am going counter trend and momentum is not my favor initially, well, any kind of red flag, I'm normally exiting the position there, because I don't want to stay in a counter trend trade for too long if the momentum is not going to continue in my favor, because the trend is just likely to continue at that point anyway. So I might as well get out the way. But yeah, pound CAD, something like this could interest me. Euro CAD, similar position in terms of we've been very bullish, market's quite overextended. Again, spanning to the weekly chart, coming back into resistance here. We kind of do expect price to find some resistance to push down, and perhaps come back and retest some structure as well. So there is multiple reasons why pairs like Euro CAD, I think, are in need of a push down, and why we can see some more downside there as well. If I can find an opportunity to take advantage of that, well, I am definitely for it as well. It's just, that's where the hard part is. Price action over here isn't looking spectacular. I mean, it looks like it is coming back to respect some structure there, but we're kind of consolidating over here as well. So that's not really giving me too much confidence to jump into a short. So in my book, I'll probably just leave EuroCAD alone. I am pretty bearish with this one. I think there's a good chance we do sell off. But as I look at price, I just feel like the markets which I've already mentioned before, and the pairs on my watch list, just look a lot better. And that's a key thing, because if I try and take this position as well, that's why I say I'm kind of forcing things, a little bit of overtrading as well, which is something we all don't want to do. So yeah, for EuroCAD, I do think there's a big move to be had to the downside, but just lacking a good place for a stop loss. That's really what the thing is, because yes, it's a nice level there, have a stop loss underneath, but I'm kind of well within this range here. When the market's quite choppy, I want stop losses to be above the highs there. So in theory, maybe another swing back to resistance could interest me for a short, but probably not as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the CAD pairs. With the CHF pairs, I'm quite bullish on the CHF pairs, mostly Aussie CHF and New Zealand CHF, both of them coming from all-time lows. So I do like these guys to the upside. I think there's a lot of room for us to maneuver into. The hell? Okay, it was there the whole time. So yeah, I'm currently in a long position here. So if price can keep going, then that would be great. I am break even. This is Miko. Great to hear, Dima. Good to see that you're enjoying the stream. If you guys are enjoying it, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. No problem, Dima. But so yeah, for Aussie CHF, I am very bullish on. Looking for more upside. Like I said, I've gone to break even. The only thing I don't really like about the position right now is just how corrective it is. We haven't really seen, price light up and seen healthy momentum. It's really corrective, which kind of makes me expect to see a bit of a drop there. If it happens, it happens. I'm following my plan in terms of how I want to manage my trades. If price does take out a new high, I don't want this position now to become a loser, so I have gone to break even. If price can do me a solid and rally, that'll be appreciated. If it does come back down, well, my thinking is if it does come back down, I either try and find another entry to get involved. As long as price doesn't take out this low, I still have the same bias. I still expect price to keep pushing up. So the plan will just be find another higher low. Or if New Zealand CHF is looking better, I might pivot to this pair and look for a buy here, because I like the opportunity if we can come back and retest the low. That'd be a nice place for a stop loss, and targeting something like this. At least the highs there, but I think we can go a bit further as well. So I don't mind whichever pair, because Aussie CHF and New Zealand CHF, 8 times out of 10 do the same thing. So I'm not too bothered which one I'm in. But I do think there's a lot more upside here for the CHF pairs. In terms of the other CHF pairs, like Euro Swiss, I think that was a bit more awkward with the price action, because this one hasn't quite seen new all-time lows. That's the main reason why I like Aussie CHF and New Zealand CHF, is because they come from all-time lows. We had a massive dip. Now I'm expecting price to recover that dip. Euro Swiss, we did have a big dip there as well, but didn't do anything. It just came and smashed its head into support. So what's new? Well, not a lot. I don't really have much of an idea of kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Pound CHF, same situation as well there. The push back into support, respected it pretty well. I'm actually still pretty bearish on this pair. We're still having these aggressive sell-offs here, so I'm expecting another one, to be honest. But yeah, just lacking quality, so I'm not really interested in trading it, to be honest. The same what happened to the Fundamental Challenge. Yeah, I had that on pause because I started off my own prop firm, elevating trades, which took a lot of my time. But with Funding Pips, they had a change in the contract, which meant that I can't actually trade with them because I'm associated with another firm, which is elevating traders. So I wouldn't be able to trade with them at all, to be honest. So yeah, I couldn't continue. Do you like dollar CAD longs? No, I'm more looking to short dollar CAD after a pullback. I think the dollar CAD longs are likely to happen at some point. I think the market is very fatigued, very corrective in this descending channel. So I think there's a strong chance we do break to the upside at some point, but it's always difficult to predict when that's going to happen because of how corrective we are here. We could see it today, we could see it tomorrow, could see it Friday, could see it Thursday next week, because price is not necessarily coming back into an area which I want to buy from. If I could see price pull back, well, if that could happen, number one, I'm in the direction of trend, so that's more favorable to myself. and two, I can kind of pinpoint the areas which I want to sell from. So the shorts just look a lot more attractive to me right now. Again, the downside is that it might take a week or two or even longer for us to actually get the pullbacks and get the setups there. So yeah, you got that to factor in. But yeah, in terms of dollar CAD, I do anticipate the pullback, but I'm not looking to buy it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I think the market is likely to pull back, but I'm not looking to buy it. I'm just focused on the sells. Nassim, appreciate it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar CAD. But that's kind of the story for all the USD pairs for me. I've been looking for pullbacks. Aussie dollar, same situation. I'm expecting this one to sell off a little bit because I'm looking for a pullback to keep buying it, but this one just keeps pushing up. So it's been difficult to find a trade. New Zealand dollar, kind of same situation with that one as well. It did have somewhat of a pullback over here, but just not big enough for me to be interested. I was looking for the retest of the high here. We came about 3/4 of the way before it happened. So unfortunately wasn't able to partake in any positions there. And then of course, Euro USD just hasn't retraced either. That one's just kind of very flat right now too. So yeah, USD pairs, I think we can still see some dollar strength come into the market. I'm looking for the dollar to push up here. For a pullback, it's just, yeah, it's been a painful watch because I've been expecting the pullback since here, and then price just hasn't done anything since then. That was 3 weeks ago, or at least 2.5. Got it, trend trading. Why not take advantage of the pullback play? Good question. Because again, as a trader, you have setups, you have opportunities which you're looking to trade. You're not trading just to trade because you expect the market to do something. You're trading because of an edge. My edge is in following a continuation of a trend, catching swing lows, swing highs in favor of momentum, in favor of direction of higher time frames. That's my edge. That's my edge to its fundamental basics. Because I'm expecting the market to retrace doesn't mean it will retrace. There's many, many times where I'm looking for price to pull back and it just doesn't pull back. It just keeps falling, keeps falling. I don't see the pullback and I don't get a trade. But if I try and keep buying those pullbacks because I'm expecting it to pull back, well, that's me trading my expectations rather than me actually trading a solid edge with a solid plan. I've built my trading style around following continuations, following swings in favor of higher time frame structure. Sometimes I do go counter trend, like my Aussie CHF position, I've gone counter trend, but I've got good reason to do so because we're at all-time lows. I'm expecting price to now pull back from that. And looking at the chart itself, I can see there is massive edge in that because every time the market has ever created an all-time low, if I go to the weekly chart, every time the market creates an all-time low, it does literally just push back up again. So there's blatant edge in that idea. With dollar CAD, I'm just expecting a pullback because the market's quite overstretched. So I'm expecting us to now push up and we're looking quite tight. So it's just an expectation. There's no kind of edge with that. I haven't practiced that. It's not something I've tested thoroughly. It's just I'm expecting a pullback because the market's quite oversold. So that's the reason why I'm not looking to play the pullback, because it's always difficult to try and play where the pullback's going to happen because it could happen here, it could happen a little bit lower. Same thing for the pullback too, but at least I've got solid levels I'm looking to engage from. So I kind of know where I'm positioning myself from. So yeah, that's really what I'm focusing on. And also there's many opportunities for me in the market. It's not like a situation where I'm only trading one market, so I kind of have to take advantage of the pullbacks and the continuations if I'm going to make a good return, because I'm looking at roughly about 30 different markets I look to trade. There's always a continuation trade for me. There's always a play pro trend on the horizon. There's always that trade, so I don't need to try and take advantage of the pullbacks because there's always a pro trend trade somewhere. whether it's on a USD pair, a JPY pair, CHF pair, gold, silver, across. There's always a pro trend trade to take on the horizon, so I don't even need to entertain pullbacks because I've got more than enough opportunities of what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's mainly the reason. But yeah, it's a whole different type of a trade. With pro trend, you've always got a slight edge that the market's going to top out and continue. With this one, because momentum is against you, it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, there'll be many times where people have stop losses here. There we got triggered. Stop losses here. There we got triggered. Stop losses here. There we got triggered as well. And you probably got some more stop losses here. What's the odds of them getting triggered there too? I don't know. I would say it's more likely than not. But still doesn't change the fact that I'm expecting dollar CAD to push up. I just don't know when. No problem, Ak. Happy to help. And yeah, the thing is, people have asked me that question many times as well. So I've answered that question many times. Because it makes sense. If the market is going to push here, it's a pretty decent move. How many pips you're looking at? From the low to the high, looking at about 300 odd pips there. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of it? Well, that's not the market opportunity I've studied. If I've built a trading strategy around that, fair enough, but I haven't. And of course, there are people that do have trading styles around those type of opportunities as well, and that's what they trade, but not in my case. Maybe I start to look into it in a bit more detail, but yeah, like I said, I've already got enough opportunities on my plate at the moment, so I don't really see the need for it right now. If anything, I want to trade more markets so I can trade more of the opportunities which I like trading. But hopefully at some point in this year, I look to add oil to my watch list and start looking to trade oil because I like the pullbacks with oil. Really nice moves here. Big swings to the downside, quite aggressive as well, which I like too. I like it because it doesn't take too long for a swing to play out. If I'm looking to try and catch a swing like this, it actually happens pretty quickly. If I move this big in FX, you could be looking at like a whole decade potentially. So, and this is the weekly chart, but you guys get the point. So I like oil because it's a bit more aggressive. So I'm hoping to back test this one and add it to the watch list, hopefully by the end of the year. And again, just looking to catch the same moves which I've always looking to take. And that was a lovely move, Jan this year. Catch a swing. All you're looking to do is just continue the swings at which the market is doing. And again, even let's say you do take a trade, but you potentially take a loss. Let's say you get into a trade here, you take a loss. Okay, not the worst thing in the world. If you find a re-entry, swing it back to lows. Well, you're looking at making back the loss plus a lot more as well. And that's the beauty of risk to reward. You don't have to be right first time. Don't you have to be right the second time either. If you're looking at 3, 4, 5R opportunities, you're just letting those numbers play out. The only downside about risk to reward opportunity is that you have to be very patient. You have to let your winners play out, because if you close your trades too early, you're going to skew your risk to reward. And I know that from experience. If you're gonna rely on risk to reward opportunities for profitability, you've got to let your winners play out. That's fundamentally important for your equity curve to push up. Because if you close trades too early, you're gonna get in the way of things. Because you don't know when the big winner is gonna come. It might be this trade, it might be the next one, it could be in 10 trades time. And if you close trades too early because it might not look too good, well, you're gonna run into problems. Anthony, what is Dolly Yen trying to do? Isn't that the question? How much do you recommend to risk to pass prop challenge? Good question. It depends what the rules are for the challenge, but I would always say is whatever the max drawdown is. Let's say the max drawdown is 10%. I would always try and give yourself 20 losses in a row for you to fail the challenge. So I would say if the max loss is 10%, then I would say risk 0.5% per trade. And the thing is, you don't have to always risk 0.5% per trade. If you're in a bit of profit, you can increase that to 0.75, 1%, 1.25, 1.5 if you're in profit, because you've got more leeway to move. But if you're risking 0.5%, your max drawdown is 10%. So effectively, you can lose 20 trades in a row before you fail. Well, psychologically, that puts you in a really, really nice place, because odds of you losing 20 trades in a row is quite slim, even if you have a particularly low win rate. And it allows you the breathing room where you're not kind of panicking if you're in drawdown, because your risk is pretty small. Because if you think about it, if what's going to be what will fail people? Just risking too much, getting caught too early, stuck in drawdown, difficult to get yourself back up. Keep the risk small, then you can always increase it when you're on profit, and then when you go back into drawdown, you can decrease it again. So that's what I would say. But of course, let's say if the drawdown is 6%, you can still do 0.5. That will give you 12 trades, but I'll probably drop that to 0.3 potentially. And give yourself a bit more room. Of course, 0.3 seems very small, but again, this is something where when you earn a bit of profit, you can build on that, and increase it further. The idea is that you don't want to fail, so you don't want to hit the max loss. You could risk a lot more than that, but just know that if things don't go well, you're putting yourself in a tougher spot to recover. I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong percentage risk to have. I would just say there's aggressive or conservative, and it's up to you to decide what you want to be. But I also would say start conservative, then become aggressive as you get into profit, rather than start aggressive and then have to become conservative because you don't want to fail too quickly. Then it just makes it so much harder to pass. Anyway, let me take a look at dollar yen. So what is dollar yen trying to do? Well, I do have a somewhat bullish bias at this area. This is a lovely swing low, which gave us a swing to the upside. So as long as price can respect this area, I do think there's a big push to be had back into resistance. That's what I would suggest there for dollar yen. If we can maintain this level, if we break through, then no, we're probably going to push back to lows at that point, and we'll see what happens there. Maybe we respect it, maybe we break through. But if we take out this low, then there's a good chance we push to that low. So far, that's not the case. We're still respecting it. So I would suggest if we're to push back down, maybe form some type of double bottom. This could be a really nice place for some entries on like an hourly chart. And you got yourself a decent swing there back to the high, and with a decent risk to reward as well. So that would be something I'll be looking at for dollar yen. Long term, I'm actually pretty bearish bias on this one. I'm looking for us to pull back and continue a lot further, but I need a bigger pullback, which hasn't happened yet. But for now, that's kind of what I'll be keeping an eye on for dollar yen. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So currently, like I said, I'm in 3 positions, just going to manage that. If I do get into any new positions, I'll let you guys know. But Euro yen shorts, I'm break even on this one. Aussie CHF longs, I'm break even on this one. And New Zealand CAD longs, I'm not break even on this one yet though. My risk is still down there at the lows, but we'll see how that one goes. It's not too far away from targets. Hopefully we can hit it this week at some point, but we'll see. Any new positions, I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm not too sure if I'll take any new trades this week, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, I will be live again tomorrow. So if you have enjoyed this stream, enjoyed the analysis, drop a like, subscribe, and tune in again tomorrow. Same time as always, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So I hope to see you guys there. If you haven't checked out the Discord to Elevating Traders, go and do that. Completely free to join. You can share ideas there, share charts. Other people share charts. You can chat to myself. I share ideas there. that I'm looking at too. So if you're interested, go check it out. You can find out more updates regarding elevating trades there as well. And it's free to join. So might as well join the community if you want to join a community with people looking to grow and improve themselves. You're in the right place. So check it out. Links in the description, also at the top of the chat. But guys, appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I'll be live again tomorrow. So hope to see everyone there. If not, be square. I'm joking. But yeah, guys, appreciate coming on. Have a great day. Drop a like before you leave. I really do appreciate that. But take care, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.